The World Snooker Championship is back 104 days later than originally planned. It might not be in its traditional time slot, but it is back at its traditional venue, the Crucible in Sheffield. And the world number one got things started earlier on today. Defending champion Judd Trump took centre stage this morning. The Bristolian has won an unprecedented 6 titles this season. His opponent Tom Ford nearly got proceedings off to a perfect start, potting the first 13 reds and 12 blacks. However, a miss on what was a relatively simple black denied the lucky few in the arena the chance to see the Crucible's 11th maximum. In frame 3, a less than perfect safety from Judd on the deciding black left Ford a trick pot, but the 36-year-old held his nerve to open up a surprise 3-0 lead. I guess when you think of it from Tom Ford's perspective, I mean, he's the underdog in this. Of course, he's playing the defending champion. He plays with less pressure. He does, until we get near the finishing line. Kyren Wilson gets a walkover through to round 2 because Anthony Hamilton chose to withdraw from the tournament. There's confirmation of Judd Trump's win 10-8 against Tom Ford and Mark Williams trailing by just 1 frame against Alan McManus. And this is what you can see tomorrow morning on BBC 2 from 10 o'clock. Stuart Bingham against Ashley Carty. You can see the conclusion of that. Will the 2015 champion, Stuart Bingham, make it through to the next round? Of course, Ashley Carty, one of 5 debutantes for this year. Well, that's it from me. I'm afraid it's been an absolute pleasure having you all company this evening for the first highlight show of the tournament. And if you haven't quite had your dose of snooker, Snooker Extra follows this show. Thank you very much for your company. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Back in the studio for the snooker. I cannot wait. And with Stephen Hendry tonight, I'd love it if you could join us. We would love to see you. I'm also very happy about life at the moment because it's so nice having hair and makeup done again. Thank you, Sarah. You've done an amazing job. And the hair feels so loved. It's so much better than anything I've done. Anyway, enough about that. I'm in studio. I'm going to head into the studio right now. 7 o'clock, we're on air on BBC 4. Come and join us. We can't wait to see you. We will be showing you the live coverage of that game very shortly, and I'm delighted to be joined by Stephen Hendry in the studio to talk you through all of the action. But first of all, as promised, let's show you that final frame, shall we, between Ding Junhui and Mark King. So Ding led by 9 frames to 7. Mark King pulled things back to 9 apiece, and here is what happened in the final frame in the company of John Parrott and Dave Farrar. Indeed, so it's back-to-back frames for Mark Williams, and he's in front for the first time since the 2-0 lead at the top of the opening session. But I think that's a frame to forget for both of them.
Yeah, well, especially Alan. He wants to forget it. Mark Williams, at least he won it at the end of it, so he can move on. Yeah, there's a lot of strange errors after you saying how clever both players are. There was a lot of very unclever shots.
They might have heard you and got a bit carried away with that.
But it's amazing how bad play is catching. You know, there was this one player who missed, and then it seems when one player misses an easy shot and leaves a kind of half chance, it seems to put more pressure on the next player's shot because he wants to, well, he's missed an easy one, I need to capitalise. And it just caught on, and then they were just making strange errors. But Mark can get on with it. Alan will still remember it.
Of course he will. And uncharacteristic errors from Alan McManus. And as Rob was just saying in commentary, we didn't see that from him last night.
He was in the frame.
It was a great response, wasn't it, from the former world champion? That's exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, he got a bit of help from his opponent there because he had a chance there. Liang Wenbo just didn't capitalise. But it's a fantastic standard. I mean, a century and now, you know, another big break, 90-odd from Neil Robertson. It's what champions do. You know, when champions are put under it, they tend to find something. But he's going to have to keep going to the well because Liang Wenbo looks in great form as well. So he's got to keep on top of it, you know. And as Stephen said, you can, even small little things like not hitting the middle of the pocket with your ball, you lose position. He has to keep his focus, keep his concentration and keep on the roll.
Well, given the season that he has had himself, I mean, he has been only second really to Judd Trump, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so you can imagine he has everything. He has all the tools to come back.
Yeah, but he'd be disappointed, you know, because he feels that he's one of the big winners and he should be winning as much as Judd Trump has been winning over the last couple of seasons. So he'd be disappointed, you know, because he is a winner. And winners like to win a lot, you know, and second is no good. And third is even worse.
It is. But I guess that the opening match of a tournament like this for Neil Robertson and for Liang, it's just very important. And I've heard so many players say they just need to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. I think all the players, and particularly the top seeds, they want to get into that best of 25. There's 3 sessions and over a couple of days. So yeah, big match for them all. But it's nicely poised.
It is indeed nicely poised. Let's see what happens in the next frame. Well, 40 minutes later, well, exactly 39 minutes and 7 seconds, Mark Selby takes the first frame. That was edgy, it was scrappy.
Yeah.
He'll feel relieved to have gone over the line there.
He will do, especially the way it's happened, because he was presented with the opportunity. And like, as soon as I saw what Jordan was going to do, I was thinking, no, don't.
I know.
I know he needs the blackout. I know he needs the blackout. But in trying to knock the blackout, you don't know where the pink's going to go. Okay, he didn't get the cue ball where he wanted. You know, if it's bang on the bottom cushion, then it's a different story. But he didn't get anywhere near the bottom cushion in trying to get the black. He'd be better off trying to contain things, I think. I know he had to try and get the, you know, this is me as a snooker player. Oh, I know it, you know, okay. But for all of that hard work in the frame and the scrappiness of it, the person who wins it feels great. The person who loses it sort of regrets it, and maybe it leads to worse things afterwards. So the scrappy ones you need to win, and of course Mark Selby's a master of that. He's got great patience.
And of course Jordan Brown making his debut. Any fond memories of your debut?
Well, in some way, it was a long time. I can't really remember it, but I do remember getting brought up for or being told that I brought the game into disrepute for asking and eating a ham sandwich in my match against Dennis Taylor.
Rebel.
Yeah, I lost that match to Dennis, which I think was the only time he beat me at the Crucible. There might have been another one, but
really?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, Jordan, as you said, will be feeling a little bit frustrated, but he has to get this out of his mind now, doesn't he? Yeah,
and he's got to get play. Both players have got to get playing. It's nice to get your hand on the table, get them up the top of the table on the black spot, and get a few blacks in.
Great stuff. Well, back to Joe and Alan in the commentary box. Any fond memories of your debuts at the Crucible?
Yeah, some fond memories I have. I'm sure Joe does too. Steve, I see still in denial of the 85 final. Ah, well, some things never change.
I won't talk about my debut. I'll let Steve tell you all about it. He still has very fond memories.
Hello and a very good evening to you. So I've got a big smile on my face because guess where I am? Can you guess from the blue seats? Maybe you can't. Have a look at this.
Alright, I'll go and get them now. Cheers.
Look at that. That's Tony, by the way. Tony, can we have a wave? Tony's been looking after me as the floor manager, but look at this. I feel so lucky to be here for this match. The players have just been warming up. I'm working with CBS, so I've just done a hit for them. Let's key for both of these players is temperament going into tonight.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, it's hopefully we can concentrate on the snooker and there's no more argy-bargy.
Okay, well on that note, it's time for us to say goodbye. My thanks to John Parrott and Stephen Hendry. It's been wonderful spending the Sunday afternoon with you. We are through to the quarter-final of this year's World Snooker Championship, where 6 of the top 8 seeds have made it through. And tonight we focus on the defending champion and world number 1, Judd Trump. He plays world number 8, Kyron Wilson. It's the best of 25 frames, and here's how the first session played out. Very warm welcome to you. Thanks for your company, and I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by our Steve Davis. Welcome along, Steve. You've been keeping across everything today, haven't you? But just a quick one about the quarterfinals, because a player's feeling confident at this stage because they've made it here, or is this where the pressure ramps up?
I think both. And I think probably the beauty of it, the round, is players managing their expectations. And they come in with a storyline already unfolding. The dream starts to become...
And I can tell you something, there were lots of oohs and ahs in the studio. Ken was on his feet, we were on the edge of our seats. Unbelievable stuff in that frame.
That was an incredible frame. I mean, it was incredible, you know, and I'm glad it went to a respot of black, that it wasn't finished on a very contentious decision, because that was a huge decision by Jan Barhasse. Our most experienced referee. Was a huge decision to make at such a critical time. So I'm glad the match didn't end on that particular decision. But, I mean, what drama. This blue. What a blue. I mean, he missed this blue into the middle, and we couldn't believe it. I mean, he has this to go 23 points ahead, which is 13 remaining on the table. That was virtually frame match ball. And what a relief it was for Ronnie O'Sullivan there. Well,
as far as winning a frame to go through to the semi-final, well, that had absolutely everything in it,
brilliant.
didn't it?
Absolutely brilliant.
It was so entertaining. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, I mean, as much as he acts like he's quite laid back, he's just here to enjoy it and have fun. He will be so happy with that.
Well, I mean, let's see what he says in his post-match interview. You never know with Ronnie. I don't know whether he'll be happy or sad or what he's going to say, but you know he's going to come out with something. But I'm sure from the look on his face, he was very relieved, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
He certainly was. And, of course, he will face Mark Selby.
Yeah.
What an exciting tie-up that will be.
Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to you. We've reached the semi-final stage of this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship, which means we've also reached the one-table setup in Sheffield's iconic Crucible Theatre. 13 days ago, 32 players started out, and we're now down to the final 4.
All that I want in this life is the chance to do my thing.
You know, it's a massive turning point.
Yeah, you're right about that. Pivotal moment in the frame as well.
Yeah, it may well be. Certainly, possibly in the match.
It's something that I could never replicate unless you don't, I think.
And that, of course, is just a beautiful reminder of the emotions that a snooker player will go through to lift that trophy and just how much it means. And what a journey he went on to get to the final.
Yeah, I mean, it feels sort of, you're watching him, you know what you've gone through yourself as well. And, he's a great winner, Graham. He got in the final again 2 other times, so it wasn't a fluke by any means at all. Great competitor, and all the people around him must have loved it.
And it was lovely seeing footage of all of you, JP in there, everyone looking very fresh-faced.
I didn't enjoy what I seen me there.
I
didn't enjoy one second of that.
Nigel Bond, a nice reminder of what happened last time you met in the world. Of course, you're playing him in the seniors as well.
I know, that was hard. I mean,
Okay, the most incredible pancakes ever. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you. So kind.